Fellas, in today's video we're jumping in how to play and dominate Black Panther in Marvel Rivals. Black Panther is a duelist, even better, played as an assassin. So if you only gain one thing from watching this video, let it be to mark and dash. That's the only thing you'll need. And that's all it really takes to get a good grasp on Black Panther. Trust me, if you're not utilizing his abilities correctly, you'll find yourself in a Wakanda lose situation. So let's get into it. But first, please make sure to like the video and subscribe to stay updated on all things Marvel Rivals. And if you got any suggestions for future guides or things you want to see, drop them in the comments below. Now, let's get started. First up, we have the Vibranium Claws. This is your basic attack. Does about 35 damage per hit. Hits every faster than half a second. Simple but effective. So you can get in, get out. Simple hits. And that's all that they're meant for. His next ability, and one that you'll see very often, is the Spear Toss. The Spear Toss has an area of effect. He throws a spear forward in an arch. It hits for about 45 damage, just a little bit more than the claws. And you do carry two of them with a timer of 6 seconds per charge. Now this attack is something that you should learn how to utilize and perfect as soon as possible. The spear is a great opener. You can throw it from a distance and then hop in and do simple combos. Or how you should be playing, you throw in, you see above the enemy, they get marked, and that's when you dash. The only other thing I can really see is if the enemy's trying to run away, and you can hit them from a distance. Now we have another very popular ability of his, and that is the spinning kick. The spinning kick will take you forward about 15 or so meters. Black Panther launches forward in a spiral, hitting for about 70 or so damage. He also marks each of the enemies that he hits. It's also good for closing gaps, again, if people are running away and you happen to lose your spears. It does take about a second to use, where the claws are also about a second for 2 hits for comparable damage. Now we have the real bread and butter at Black Panther, and that is his Spirit Rend. Going forward, I'm going to call it dash. It's easier to get out, and it's also what it looks like. Once someone is marked with that little mark above them, you can use your dash and you'll go forward and hit them. You get a little bit of the overshield, and it instantly refreshes your dash if you hit someone who is marked. How much overshield do you get? Been about between 40 to 120. Just like his kick, the dash is about 15 or so meters, but if you do miss, you do have about an 8-second cooldown, and your speed is really fast. It's a lot faster than the kick. Make sure they're marked, you dash. Make sure they're marked, you dash. That's the only thing that is really important with Black Panther. If there's one ability that you really do get practice on, it needs to be the dash, as you're going to be using that for just about everything you do. Hold on to the jump button on the wall to run up it. And then upon jumping off, you can do a double jump. There is a 3-second cooldown on it. This will allow you to get some distance and some spacing on your enemies, so you can drop down and surprise them. You can also use this to get to high ground and escape from any attackers, in case they do gang up and swarm on you, or you really need to get out of there. Next up, we have the passive for Black Panther, and that is you deal higher damage when you're at low health. It does about 20% more damage when you are at 100 or less health. If you're just using your base attack, it takes 1 to 2 less hits in order to actually knock the person. However, that bonus is good for spare situations, and in normal play, when you are fighting other DPS or the supports, it can be something that gives you that bonus edge to win the fight, just in case it's not going your way. Now, for the last of the attacking abilities, we have a big one, Fast Descent. It does about 150 damage, and it throws a giant panther at all those in a moderate vicinity in front of you. The important thing, again, just like most of his abilities, is that it does mark the enemy. A lot of the focus is going to be marking the enemy, and this is a great way to get that done. One thing to keep in mind though, this isn't really an opener or a closer ultimate like most of the other heroes in the game. Using this will instantly refresh your dash. And then lastly, for abilities, we have his team up, which is the Wakanda Master. Short and sweet of it, you press the C button if you're on PC. I'm just going to take some damage to show. You go back in time about 5 seconds, your positioning does move, and you gain a little bit of overshield on this one. And now that's it for the abilities. With those out of the way, let's get on how to properly use Black Panther. Before we do hop into some matches, I'm just going to cover quickly the base combo for Black Panther. A good chaining combo will be throwing your spear, dashing, turning 180 degrees, kicking, and then dashing again. And that should, for the most part, take out an enemy. And also as you play and you come across more skilled players, using the kick as part of your chain may not always be the best, as it does have a little bit of delay. So in that case, using something like spear, dash, will be the better choice, as you do go very fast and it can be harder to keep up with. So with that base combo shown there, let's hop into it. Now, let's get into the meat of it. How do you play Black Panther? Here's the key. Dash constantly, and don't let that cooldown hit 0. So a good chaining combo will be throwing the spear, dash, turn 180 degrees, spin kick so that target is marked again, and then dash again to finish them off. You need to have the target marked in order for the dash to refresh upon hitting. I find the best playstyle with Black Panther is sneaking in, getting a kill, sneaking out. The assassin playstyle, which is what Black Panther I think is perfect for. Now this is the main juicy part. What is good and what is bad for Black Panther as combos? Well, if you watch any videos or if you follow any guides online, I find at some point you'll hear the line, "Stop using this combo. I see 95% of the players use this and it's not good." The number is totally made up and arbitrary, and with most combos in this game, it really comes down to situational awareness. The combo that they often refer to though is spear dash, kick dash. This is the combo that most videos teach new players, as it uses all the abilities, but the kick is slow and it can be countered at the higher you go in ranks. The newer suggestion is spear dash, then kick and dash again if the opponent is still alive. You do move a lot faster, and in general it is good, but you lose both of your spears and your kick using this combo. Another good combo to keep in mind is spear dash, kick, dash dash. Good for knocking, but you don't go far with your kicks and dashes, and that will put you behind the enemy lines with no worthy attacks available for you at that time, as they're on cooldown. So this combo is useful, but it can lead to bad outcomes. Again, it's all about what the situation calls for. So you might be asking, Dev, what's the play? Well, all of that is great. Honestly, it is. For one player. If you have 2 there, or even a full team and you can't run, your tactics of spear dash may net you a single kill. That leaves the question, what is the best combo for a beginner, for someone to master, or just in general? And for that, it really depends on the situation at hand. That is why Black Panther is easy to learn and difficult to master. Black Panther's kick will go through more than one player and mark each one he hits. This is better to use than just the spear if you have 2 enemies somewhat a distance apart. If you were to just spear dash, you leave yourself open for the other player to waste you. Do you have a group all together but spread around you? Spears will be the way to go then. In the most ideal world, you happen to come upon just one enemy at a time, in which case, using spear dash and throwing some claws in there just to knock down any health, that is probably going to be one of the better combos to use. As you're very quick, it lets you get in and out and ensures that they're dead. But that only covers one specific scenario, and that's not going to be the common practice. At the end of the day, knowing what marks a player and keeping your dash active will be the strategy, and what you do to make that happen and win the fight, that's going to be the best combo to use at that time. There are plenty of things to learn, and this is one of the few characters where knowing and mastering the basics will take you very far. Now, if you're facing tanks, I would suggest to steer clear, but if you see a healer and squishy DPS, dive in and make them regret their life choices. Have the high ground, drop down and hit them from above. Black Panther's surprise attacks are like a stealthy ninja attack. Don't spam your abilities. Learn the combos and practice quick 180 turns, This will help you land those sweet hits, and if you're too slow, they'll just CC you or escape. Work on your sensitivity for those quick 180s, it might just save your life. More complex combos involve mixing in a few slashes from your base attack, between abilities, and using spear toss again for additional marks. This is the key to maximizing damage while refreshing your dash. There's a lot of moving parts, right? But that's what makes Black Panther so challenging and rewarding to play. This is where the fun starts. You want to spear toss to mark the enemy, dash, turn, dash again. This works well for already damaged or lower health players, but it won't refresh your dash again since you didn't mark the player, so be careful with it. Chaining in some claws after the first dash can help ensure that the dash is a kill shot. Your best combo is going to be whatever is best for the situation to keep you alive at the end. Black Panther has a massive potential to mess up the enemy backline, and as more and more people pick him up, you'll see more of him just zooming around the map, causing chaos. His passive ability is something unique that most people may not pay a lot of attention to. You'll often be in the action, low on health, and that damage buff will help you get those kills, especially when you need them the most. So importantly, what happens if you do miss your dash? That's when you use your ultimate. This will hit all the targets within a medium range in front of you and refresh your dash. Timing, timing, timing. The team up ability is nice, but keep in mind, it has a 30-second cooldown, and you may not always get to have it. Something to keep in mind is that when you do mark an enemy, this will put the mark above them and let you see them through walls, which can help a lot in case you find yourself in a bad position. If you gathered anything from this video, is be sure to mark the other player and dash. Mark and dash. Mark and dash. Maybe sprinkle in some quick claws, but mark and dash. That's the only thing you really need to know for playing Black Panther. Whatever combo you choose to use, you will know it's a good combo to use if you are alive at the end of the engagement. In general, there's no bad combos, just combos that are bad to use at that moment. And that's a wrap on how to dominate with Black Panther and Marvel Rivals. Whether you're zooming through the map, wrecking backlines, or pulling off those deadly combos, you've got what it takes to rule the arena. And hey, hit that like button if you're still watching, subscribe for more videos like this if you haven't already, and stay tuned for the next one.